Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, plowing neighborhoods. Snow clearing crews will start on residential roads Monday. A tight squeeze, shrinking space for airline passengers has some calling for new safety regulations. And a pool for patients. A swimming space will return to a local rehabilitation hospital.
CTV Edmonton. Local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
It's been nearly a week since Edmonton's last major snowfall. Some drivers say the city is missing the mark for clearing streets. A city spokesperson says road conditions are up to standard, except in cases where extreme weather made scraping to pavement nearly impossible. CTV's Jeremy Thompson is live in South Edmonton this evening. So, Jeremy, where do drivers seem to be having the most trouble right now?
Oh, yeah, Matt, most drivers I spoke with today say neighborhood roads like this one are the biggest problem right now. I'm not sure how well the road condition here translates to TV, but I'm sure if you've driven on a neighborhood road in the last few days here, you're familiar with this sort of mashed potato snow or perhaps large ruts. The city is announcing today that it will be plowing these neighborhood roads soon, bringing some relief for drivers with a Phase 2 parking ban involved in that process. Still, as you might imagine, drivers have plenty of complaints about the roads. Drivers gingerly come to a stop at this Southside intersection, doing their best to avoid a collision on bare pavement slick with ice. Windrows on this bus route in Cahiwin prove a plow has been by, but snow on the road means it's probably been a while. City policy states priority 2 bus routes and other roads in the category should be plowed to pavement within 5 days. It last snowed January 2nd.
They're drivable, so that's good enough for me.
I've lived in Edmonton all my life, and it's just, I'm so used to it. You know what I'm not expecting anything more, because, the first thing they're going to do is just raise up the property taxes.
The head of the roads department says the full complement of trucks and plows has been clearing streets since early December, battling heavy snow and fluctuating temperatures.
We are delivering on the service levels that are depicted in our snow and ice control policy and procedures and ensuring that we hit those.
So why is there still snow on some roads that city policy states should be scraped to bare pavement?
Regardless of how much equipment you put on a roadway at -30, some snow is going to adhere.
Snowy streets don't only impact drivers. Strollers and wheelchairs struggle in the slop. And good luck getting over the windrow on one side of this crosswalk if you have to roll.
Always I'm getting late to, drop off the kids.
This man drives yellow buses and Uber.
Me and my wife, we both are always whenever we go out, it's oh my God, what's going on? They are not clearing the snow at all.
One city councillor says improving traction would make a meaningful difference for drivers.
I do think there are tools out there that we are not using that we could use that would be low cost, but I know also that the budget hasn't kept up with our growth as a city.
The city's snow clearing budget is nearly $70 million a year. So that Phase 2 parking ban to clear residential roads like this one I'm on here begins Monday at 7 a.m. You're going to want to move your cars off the streets. The city says that process is expected to last about 2 weeks. They have a lot of neighborhoods to get into, so there will be signs warning residents that blading and plowing will be happening in their area. Expect about 3 days per neighborhood. If you don't move your car, you will likely get a ticket. It is also going to be a little bit complicated to see what happens next week, given we are expecting above 0 temperatures coming up here in the next couple of days, so could be a bit sloppy and messy out there. Matt?
All right, Jeremy Thompson live in South Edmonton tonight. Thank you. More peace officers will be patrolling city transit this year. The city is adding 30 officers, with the first 15 starting this month. All of the new officers will be in service by July, bringing the total number to 126. They will patrol the LRT, buses, and transit stations. The city says peace officers can do more than security guards.
The peace officers, however, can issue tickets, conduct enforcement under both bylaws and provincial acts, and make arrests in certain criminal cases. And certainly we've been partnering with the Edmonton Police Service to make sure that we have a seamless approach between our teams and theirs that are in the transit spaces.
The additional peace officers was a directive from City Council last spring. A request to adjourn the trial for a man accused of a deadly hit-and-run involving a U-Haul has been denied. Peter Ashby is accused of driving a U-Haul that struck and killed a 45-year-old woman from Fort Saskatchewan in February of 2024. His lawyer told the court the initial review of the evidence disclosure provided by the Crown in late December had raised several issues. She intends to file an application to have the Crown prosecutors in the case removed from the trial and some evidence excluded. While the judge didn't grant a complete adjournment of the trial, the application will need to be heard before it can proceed. After updating numbers from previous weeks, the province is now reporting 110 Albertans with the flu have died. The number of deaths this season has climbed from 73 to 110. More than 2,700 people have been hospitalized. 20% of people in the Edmonton Health Zone have been vaccinated. Overall, 19% of Albertans have been immunized against the flu. Vaccination rates are highest among seniors 65 years and older. The province says getting vaccinated is the best way to protect yourself from influenza. Safety concerns are arising after a recent video showed WestJet passengers struggling to fit into their seats. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, it's now prompting calls for new airplane regulations.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there?
No, impossible.
A cramped cabin experience for an Edmonton area family is causing concerns for comfort and safety on board. The reconfigured seats were installed in a couple dozen WestJet planes last fall.
The only time you really get to understand how seat pitch works is when you have to experience it yourself.
The squishy situation is putting passengers in a tight spot for safety.
My concern is basically getting out of that seat in a packed airplane with an emergency evacuation.
They're forcing you to upgrade, basically, if you want to be able to safely fit in your seat.
Transport Canada is responsible for aviation safety. Right now, it does not regulate how much space is required between rows of seats. Aviation expert John Graddick says the issue goes beyond passengers, as it also impacts flight attendants who have to complete safety checks.
If your knees and legs and thighs basically are covering up that space, how is a flight attendant going to see where your carry-on baggage is safely stowed or not?
The union representing WestJet cabin personnel tells CTV News in part, flight attendants are concerned about the impact that increasingly confined cabin spaces may have on safety, both for passengers and for the crew responsible for conducting required safety and security checks on board. The union also says the airline made the decision without consulting or engaging with cabin crews, even after it raised concerns.
Transport Canada has not really addressed this thing publicly. They may have done it privately with WestJet, but I think that the Transport Canada should have a public statement.
Graddick says in a competitive industry, it's likely other airlines could shrink seat room if Transport Canada doesn't act. CTV News reached out to WestJet multiple times and has not heard back. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
And CTV News has reached out to Transport Canada as well. It says it is working on a response. An Edmonton by-election happening later this year could decide the balance of power for the federal government. At least one candidate from last April says he intends to run again. Edmonton Riverbend Conservative MP Matt Genereux announced in November he would resign. Turning the empty seat for the Liberals would give the party a majority on Parliament Hill. Mark Manenko ran for the Liberals in April's election. He says he intends to be the Liberal candidate when the by-election is called. Manenko lost to Genereux by a little more than 3,000 votes. He says the national spotlight will be good for issues facing the riding.
There'll be an interesting focus on Alberta, specifically Edmonton, and on Riverbend, and the values that ridings like this across the country can bring, and the value that the members of this riding can bring to the federal government.
There is going to be national attention. The stakes are going to be high. I think, for people living in the riding, they should expect to have knocks at the door sooner rather than later.
A by-election will not be triggered until Genereux officially resigns. That's expected to happen sometime this spring. The Liberals would also have to retain the seat that Chrystia Freeland plans to leave as she accepts a job with the Ukrainian president. There are accusations of harassment from people trying to collect signatures for a recall petition. Molly Metcalf is organizing the recall petition against Highwood MLA RJ Sigurdsson. Metcalf says volunteers have been harassed and she has received threatening emails. She says people against the petition have taken pictures of private information. She says RCMP were notified. As of now, no investigation is underway.
I'm a generally pretty positive person, so I like to see it as just like, yeah, these people are clearly unhappy, but we're still doing something. I'd like to keep going. I would not fault any of my volunteers if they feel unsafe and decide to stop. Like, that's totally fair.
Metcalf says she only has about 500 signatures. The petition needs about 15,000. A petition to recall Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides is also short, about 10,000 signatures. Josh, wondering, were we short a few degrees when it came to reaching a daytime high above zero today? Felt pretty warm out there.
-1.
Oh, so
for
close.
Daytime high. Yeah, 0 yesterday, -1 today. We'll be pretty close to the freezing mark again tomorrow, about -2 for a daytime high. Started the day in the mid-minus teens. Really close to average, -14 this morning, but look at that, 6 degrees above average through this afternoon. By the time we get to Saturday, not only are temperatures expected to be above average, we'll be close to some record daytime highs Saturday and Monday. It's -3 in Edmonton right now as temperatures have cooled a little bit in the last hour or two. -5 south of the city. There's a little bit of flurry activity off to the north, northeast of the Edmonton region, but no snow here in the city. In fact, this is what it looks like right now with the CTV drone flying high over the Edmonton area. There's a bit of cloud cover. Saw nice sunny skies around lunchtime today, but those clouds then took over through this afternoon. If you go back to the satellite map, you'll see that there are some breaks in the cloud cover here, back off to the west and northwest. So I don't think we're completely locked in under overcast skies through this evening. It'll be kind of partly cloudy through the evening hours and then some clearing overnight. And we'll actually start tomorrow with a bit of sunshine. Temperatures sliding to around -13 to start the day. Wind, not a factor, about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour right through the day. And there's your warm temperatures again tomorrow, up to about -1 or -2 for a daytime high. Look at these temperatures through the weekend and into next week, though. Anywhere between about 4 and 8 for daytime highs from Saturday right through to Wednesday. And even as things start to cool down towards the end of next week, no big cold spell expected anytime soon. So the cold is in the rearview mirror. We got some mild days for tomorrow and Friday, and then some sloppy warm days through the weekend and early next week.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, local first responders and military members trying to help Canadian Blood Services reach its new goal.
We just want to help step up and contribute in our way.
Thursday on Your Morning, the long journey of Canadian rocker Sam Roberts celebrating 20 years since the album Chemical City. We'll talk to him and look further back to the history of VHS tapes. We'll see you at 6.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
Patients at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital haven't been able to take part in aquatic therapy for more than a year. Now they have a new opening date to look forward to. CTV's Merrick DeCash has the details.
The pool at the Glenrose Rehabilitation Hospital has been empty since the fall of 2024.
We heard loud and clear from patients, clinicians, and families as soon as the pool was closed that this is an essential service for rehabilitation hospitals.
Today, the province made a commitment of $3.25 million to help renovate the pool. In 2023, Matt Rollick ended up being a patient at the Glenrose after a bad reaction to antibiotics.
I had to have oxygen to assist with my breathing, and for the first several days, I had to ask the nurses to lift my phone and text my wife that I was okay because I couldn't even lift my phone.
Rollick used the pool almost every day on his month-long road to recovery.
So the pool was a quiet, comfortable place where it would alleviate the pain in my skin and my limbs. It would help with my muscle cramps, and it just gave me some quiet peace away from the general population to gather my thoughts and keep focused.
Before the closure, approximately 600 patient treatments happened in the pool each month.
Getting this pool back active is going to help support the 6,000 patients each year that have used it and benefited from it when they're recovering from a serious injury, accident, or illness.
The Glen Rose Hospital Foundation says it'll raise the remaining $3.25 million required in order for the project to break ground. The province says the pool should be ready by 2028. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Local first responders and military members are trying to help Canadian Blood Services reach what it's calling its most ambitious goal ever. The organization wants to find 1 million new blood and plasma donors in Canada over the next 5 years. Local police officers, firefighters, paramedics, military members are donating while also encouraging people to sign up through the Sirens for Life campaign. They'll take part in donation drives throughout January. First responders often help people who will eventually need blood, so they understand the importance of these donations.
We all know someone in our life, loved ones, etc., who need blood services for lots of other medical reasons too, and we just want to help step up and contribute in our way.
Because of our growing population and our aging population, we are seeing the demand for blood products go up over the next 5 years by about 10%. And then also the need for plasma is going to be going up by about 50% over the next 5 years.
Canadian Blood Services says donations usually drop during the winter because of the weather, poor road conditions, and illness. Anyone who makes a donation can enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of Air Canada. Still to come tonight on CTV News, digging out. Farmers trying to find their bags of grain hidden under a meter of snow.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Farmers out in Bruderheim, northeast of Edmonton, are digging out their grain bags buried under a meter of snow. Canola and wheat farmer Neil Widas says it's taken him and a few others around 6 hours of shoveling just to find the bag. He's now helping neighboring farms find theirs, and once they're found, wildlife becomes the biggest concern.
It's like a road in there. The animals going in, they're walking on top. The coyotes make a hole and they burrow in for the night. It's nice and warm in there. And now there's birds, so now the deer are standing right on top and they're poking holes.
They're digging out these bags so the grain doesn't spoil, and all that heavy snowfall does have a silver lining. Widas says the amount of snow shows promise for more moisture in the coming months when seeding eventually takes place.
It's been a long time since we had this kind of snowpack.
I was going to say,
in the middle of winter.
Please no more moisture. No, just for right now anyway. Just bring out the sun. Let's just melt this away.
A lot is going to melt over the course of the weekend and through next week. Snow cover on the ground is going to shrink significantly. I'll show you those temperatures again in a moment. There is what it looks like outside right now under mostly cloudy skies. It's the River Valley Sky Cam brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. -3. After hitting -1 earlier in the day. Still a -1 in Beverly. Summerside's at -2. A little cooler there. Castle Downs at -5. So a bit of a temperature spread depending on where you are in the city right now. Same goes for the province. -15 in Fort McMurray, -23 in High Level. But Calgary's at -2. And we had temperatures around or just slightly above zero earlier this afternoon in southern Alberta. Grand Prairie currently sitting at -5. And dealing with a little bit of clearing in that area. Had some heavier cloud cover earlier in the day. There's your flurries off to the northeast of the Edmonton region. Doesn't look like we'll see anything here in the city. Just partly cloudy skies this evening. Then some clearing overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Clouds will thicken up once again through the afternoon, though. You get another low pressure system across the north. That'll bring some snow to mainly northwestern Alberta through the day. Probably some snow, though, in through the foothills as well. So areas around Drayton Valley down through Rocky Mountain House, maybe even late in the day in the Red Deer region, you'll see some light snow. I don't think that amounts to all that much. Here in Edmonton, it should all skip past us. And the same goes for Friday. I really think most of this snow is going to stay north of the city, but I've put a slight chance. Some flurries in the forecast for late in the day on Friday. The big story is the kick of warm air that comes in behind that system starting Saturday. Here's today, there's tomorrow, pretty similar temperatures tomorrow. There's a big cool down on the way for eastern and northeastern Alberta for Friday afternoon, but it'll be short-lived. You'll be in the -teens, maybe even -20s for daytime highs in that part of the province on Friday. By Saturday, you're close to zero. Here in Edmonton, we're above zero by a handful of degrees. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, a big, lengthy warm spell. Minus 16 in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning. Should be in the mid-minus teens as well. In the Red Deer region, about minus 13 here in the city tomorrow morning. Minus 7 for a high in Grand Prairie tomorrow, while Cold Lake and Fort McMurray are stuck in the minus 12, minus 13 range. And highs, handful of degrees below zero in Lloydminster and Red Deer. Jasper, cloudy skies, about minus 6 or minus 7. Minus 13 early tomorrow morning. There's your clearing overnight tonight and into the morning hours. Then mostly cloudy midday through the afternoon. You might see a couple of sunny breaks, but more cloud than sunshine. High of about minus 2 tomorrow. And minus 2 for Friday. I mean, potentially some of that cooler air slips further west and we're around minus 5. Certainly doesn't look cold for Friday, but maybe a degree or two cooler than tomorrow. There's the weekend, though. Look at the record for Saturday's 8 degrees set in 1986. Look at a forecast high of 7. I think Sunday's record high of 10 is safe. Monday will be close, and that record goes all the way back to 1891. So we showed you in the 10-day forecast earlier in the newscast. That heat sticks around right through to the middle of next week. Temperatures not returning to sub-zero daytime highs again until the end of next week.
All right, Josh, thank you. Actress Jennifer Gardner is praising the northern Canadian skies after ringing in the new year here.
Just like Mom ordered, right overhead, bright in the sky, bright to the naked eye. Greens and yellows and purples from one side of the sky to the other, dancing overhead.
She was not in Canada for a movie, just visiting with her mother. Gardner says her mom wanted to see the Northern Lights. They headed to Yellowknife in search of Aurora adventure. They found it on the very first night. Gardner says when the sky lit up, it was the perfect way to bring in the new year. When we return, Strange Brew, the return of Edmonton's festival celebrating the city's most bizarre beverages.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by the Billy Joel Songbook with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Local breweries are ready for you to try their latest renditions of wacky and unconventional beers. Weird Beer is back for a 4th year. 19 tap rooms in the Edmonton area are offering up their quirkiest flavors. The theme is classic monster movies. Some examples of the weirdness include Analog's Creature from the Baklava Goon, Manual Labor's The Deadly Mantis made with crickets, and Bent Stick's 24 Carotene.
I think to see the other breweries continue to support it and continue to believe in it and continue to champion it. I think the best form of flattery is seeing people trust me to go ahead and brew a beer with carrots in it and turmeric and ginger.
Beer enthusiasts are dared to grab a passport and adventure to each stop to try each of the new brews. If you collect a stamp at all of the locations, you can claim a Weird Beer chalice. The event runs until February 1st. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.